Hi, my name is Gary Patingolo, and I'm a social worker and a certified teacher as far as mindfulness-based stress reduction through Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island, and the Public Health Center for Mindfulness. I'm also a marathon runner. I've been running and walking races for many years, for about 21 years. And I was asked to share some tips about mindfulness and how it can be valuable to you. And hopefully, it will be helpful to you as you prepare for the upcoming kidney walk. So, just some thoughts that I have about mindfulness and walking or running and chronic kidney disease and some of the parallels. As well as that, I'll guide you in a body scan meditation as we go along today. So, mindfulness and running or walking requires you to be steady in the race. And like running or walking a marathon or a race, often you're going along very steady and then you hit something runners refer to as around the 21 kilometer mark being the wall. And when you hit the wall, often you feel very decompensated. You feel weak. You don't have the energy to even continue on with the race if it's a 42 kilometer race. Similarly, when we are going along in our life, often in autopilot, we often come across illness or suffering or something interrupts our life, and chronic kidney disease and often the requirement for dialysis can be an interruption or an intrusion on our daily life. I worked in a dialysis program at a regional hospital here in Sudbury, Ontario for 13 years, and also I worked with chronic disease thereafter. So I'm well acquainted with some of the struggles and the challenges that people face with kidney disease, as well as their families in coping with this devastating condition. Mindfulness can help us with something we often refer to as equanimity. And equanimity is really being able to stay afloat when you are challenged with life's challenges, the pleasant, the unpleasant, and the neutrality of life. John Kabat-Zinn often refers to this as the full catastrophe of life. And certainly we all have been challenged over the last 6 months with the COVID pandemic that we're all coping with at this time. And people have often said that with their meditation, mindfulness practice, it helps them to feel more equipped to deal with these challenges, less overwhelmed, less pessimistic, feeling somewhat in more control in situations where there isn't a lot of control. And similarly with kidney disease, it can be helpful as far as instituting some level of feeling like you're in the driver's seat when you're having to adhere to rigid schedules and treatment and medical tests and so forth. Runners often have what I refer to as a special language. If I'm running on one side of the street and there's another runner running by on the opposite side of the street, often we'll do a wave to one another. And it's kind of a unsaid spoken language. And I have found the same with people that have kidney disease, that often there is this unexplained parallel, this unspoken commonality that they share, this bond. As meditators, often we realize that it's a sacred time to be able to go to stillness or immerse ourselves in silence. And this opportunity to go to silence is what I often refer to as a purposeful pause. And it empowers us, and it has the ability to fuel us to keep on going, and also to keep plugging along with that walk or that race. Like dialysis or kidney disease or any chronic illness, there can be contraindications or comorbidities, other difficulties or challenges. The same thing goes with meditation practice. It can be very hard to sit for extended periods of time. So my recommendation is always to begin your mindfulness practice with very short intervals, maybe only a couple minutes at a time, until you're able to sit or do a formal practice for a longer period of time. And there's a difference with mindfulness. You don't have to always do the formal practices like sitting meditation or walking meditation or body scan meditation. You can also do the informal practice, which is basically just paying attention to doing what you're doing when you're doing it. When you're practicing a meditation, there can be also challenges like boredom, difficulty sitting for extended periods, and just being hard on your body. Also, just self-doubt and judgment. And when we walk or prepare for a race, in your situation, the kidney walk, I'm hoping that many of you have had an opportunity to prepare and you're not just plugging yourself into this. The same thing goes for your meditation practice. You don't just decide to practice for a long period of time. As I said earlier, it's better to slowly build on your meditation. And the mindfulness-based stress reduction is a good program, if available in your community, that helps to support you week to week so that you can build on each practice and build on the foundation of your meditation so you can acquire a long-term practice. When you run the race or walk a run, often you have a feeling of being empowered. And similarly, when you practice mindfulness meditation, it often helps to refuel you, to re-energize you, and to keep you going, running that race of everyday life. Runners can be particularly hard on themselves, and as human beings, we are often very hard on ourselves. I always remember people coming to my office as a social worker and being perplexed at just the level of self-doubt that a lot of people have. And often that is contextual in nature. Often we've been raised in a way where there's rigidity, or we're expected to achieve or to fix or to do. So mindfulness is simply about being, and being also more compassionate as a human being to yourself, and compassionate to others. When you practice mindfulness, you really can't help but put the me aside and be more consumed with the bigger picture, the we. Studies have demonstrated that people that practice mindfulness on an extended period of time actually have more of a compassionate focus. Runners can be the worst patients when they're injured. They don't like it. Similarly, when we have life's challenges or illness, like kidney disease, we often can be very rigid in our thinking. We may not like the medical treatment that we're receiving. We may not like the schedules. We may not be happy about the staff. So mindfulness helps us to move us from automatic and default mode to being more open with doing things in a new way, with curiosity, spaciousness, and openness, kind of as an explorer. And with this comes the ability to live life to the fullest, not being locked into tunnel vision that limits us and makes it impossible often for us to truly see. Walkers or runners or human beings often live life in the past. They dwell on the way that things used to be. It's easy to do that. Again, when we have long-standing chronic illness, we often cling to the past or worry about tomorrow. And I often refer to this as grasping or hurling. And when we try to hang on to, we suffer. And when we try to push away that of which is, we suffer. So mindfulness helps to embrace this moment as it truly is. And that might be embracing the happiness and the sadness of the moment, but again, not trying to change it, just simply being with it. This is the moment. This is really all that matters. There'll never be another moment like this again. This is truly all that we really have. The benefits of mindfulness often can include things like enhanced immune system, something called neuroplasticity, which is a changing of the gray matter of the brain. People often have less inflammation in their body when they're mindfulness practitioners, or higher levels of antibodies. They also have lower glucose levels, sleep better, and often have reductions in anxiety. And mindfulness is helpful as far as recurrent depression, equally as helpful as some of the pharmaceuticals and other methods of treating depression. All of these can be helpful to a person that has kidney disease. When we eat mindfully, we're taking our time using all of our senses and being with our food as it is. We in fact eat less and we enjoy our food more. I know that with kidney failure, there's often dietary regime requirements like reduced salt intake, reduced potassium, less fluids. And the practice of mindfulness and eating mindfully can be very helpful at meeting some of these targets. One of the beauties about mindfulness-based stress reduction is there's yoga included in that program, and these yoga exercises can be very targeted to your needs. We often say to people, don't do the yoga practice beyond your capacity. Be very kind to your body, listen to your body, and in fact, we're able to even just visualize some of the yoga movements if we're not able to do them. So mindfulness is not about trying to fix or change. It's just being. It is a full acceptance of what is. And it's not a submission or a giving up, but it's again just being with what's there with spaciousness and with curiosity. When we're picking a coach to help us with a walk or a run, we often want the best one that's going to help us to achieve our goal. And in your situation, it might be a 5-kilometer walk or run or longer. Similarly, when you pick a mindfulness practitioner or teacher, you should be picking one that is credentialed and has been taught through a lot of rigorous education, that will be a person that you can trust, that will do no harm. There are contraindications to mindfulness, for instance, if a person has high levels of depression, it may not be the best time to engage in that kind of a practice. A lot of these tips are in a book that I've recently published that I'm very proud of. And the book is called The Response: Practicing Mindfulness in Your Everyday Life. It's available with Latitude 46 Publishing or on Amazon, or also chapters. There are also a lot of writings in this book and insights about being healthcare professionals working with people that have kidney disease, and also people that have come to my office as patients walking this walk together. And I practice through an entity called Mindfulness on the Rocks here in Sudbury, Ontario. So I think it's time for me now to lead you through a meditative practice. Hopefully one that will put your mind at rest and help you just to be with your body. It's called the body scan. and it's going to be about a 10-minute practice. So I'll encourage you to sit down or lay down and just make yourself comfortable. I also encourage you to close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable to you, that's perfectly fine as well. But it is the preferred way to practice this meditation. I'll ring something called the gong just to begin the practice and to conclude. So here we go. So just beginning by bringing your awareness to this life-giving body and noticing how it feels to be breathing in this moment. Just allowing for the air to be breathed in through your mouth and through your nostrils. Noticing the sensation, the inhalation and the exhalation. The breathing in and the breathing out. And with this, you might notice how it feels with the belly rising and falling, or the lungs expanding and retracting with each and every breath. So you're simply riding the wave, being with the rise and the fall, the in-breath and the out-breath in this moment. And being in this moment. And this moment. No need to do anything. You're just being, and remembering that as long as you're breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you. And now the invitation is to allow for the breath to be breathed through the mouth and through the nostrils, and sending that breath all the way down through the body, all the way down, and allowing it to settle at the bottom of both feet. So now you're bringing your awareness or your mind's eye to what's happening at the bottom of both the feet in this moment. Are there any sensations, warmness, coolness, heaviness, lightness? Discomfort or tingling, numbness. You're not trying to fix what's there or change it, but you're simply observing what's happening at the bottom of the feet in this moment. Perhaps giving gratitude, knowing that these feet will carry you when you walk the kidney walk upcoming, and keep you going as you walk the path of everyday life. And now bring your awareness upward when you're ready to the top of both the feet and to the ankles in the area of the Achilles tendons. These narrow tendons that help to support us and keep us upright. Bring your awareness to the calves and that fleshy, meaty portion of the calves. Forward to the shins, perhaps beneath the skin and deep within that bony coat of armor that lies beneath. Just noticing what's there, if anything. Now the invitation is to allow that awareness to rise, this time to the knees. Perhaps again recognizing the architectural marvel of these knees that help us to move and dance and walk and run. Possibly bring your awareness deep within the kneecap or below the kneecap. Again, the invitation is to simply notice what's there, if anything. And if there's any discomfort in any area of the body, you can always back away or lean in. And if you lean in, just look at it with an exploratory capacity. Again, not trying to change it or wish it wasn't there. And now bring your awareness upward to the thighs and to the IT bands and the glutes, a part of our body that can often get very tight, especially if we're walkers or runners. Just noticing what's there. And perhaps now bring your awareness to the pelvis, this central area of the body with key functions like reproduction, elimination. Just being with the pelvis and the pelvic cavity. Again, just noticing any sensations. And if there's no sensations, that's fine. As you're ready, bring your awareness upward to the back, the lower portion of the back, that part of the body that often can be painful or overtaxed, especially if we're on our feet for extended periods of time, walking or running. Just noticing what's there, if anything. And up the spine, past each and every vertebrae like stairs of a ladder, making your way to the middle of the back, the upper back, eventually forward to the area of the chest and the lungs, and then resting in pure awareness in any sensations in the tummy, often referred to as the second brain of the body. Just noticing what's happening in the belly in this moment, if anything. Any sensations, sounds. Is it rising and falling? Just being with the belly. And now taking another breath through the mouth and through the nostrils and sending that breath down both of the arms, noticing what's happening in the elbows and the forearms, the wrists, the palms of the hands and the tips of the fingers, and possibly even the space between the fingers. Just being with the arms and the hands and noticing what's there. Tingling, itchiness, warmth, coolness, heaviness, lightness. No need to change anything. And now bringing your awareness to the area of the shoulders and the neck, part of our body where we often carry a lot of physical and emotional heaviness. You may wish to relax the shoulders and drop them down even further. And then to the area of the mouth and the jaw, often a part of our body where we harbor a lot of tension Is there rigidity or tightness in this area? And if so, the invitation is to relax the mouth and the jaw. Allow for the tongue to fall or touch the upper palate. And noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Is the air entering the mouth and the nostrils warmer or cooler with inhalation or exhalation? Just noticing. And then bring your awareness to the ears and the earlobes, the workings of the inner ears, sounds that might be emerging through the ears, whether close by or at a distance. Don't try to focus on them, wishing they were there or not, but just being with whatever sounds that you are hearing in this moment, without judgment. And then expand that awareness to the eyes and to the back of the eyes. Again, noticing what's there, softness, heaviness, warmth or coolness, stillness or movement. And to the forehead and eventually to the top of the head. And now taking a moment just to be with the body in its full capacity, in its entirety, this living, breathing organism from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Just noticing. And before I ring the gong to conclude this body scan, you may wish to repeat the following phrases to yourself. Just a little bit of loving kindness meditation. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. And may I have ease in being. And I'll ring the gong to conclude. And if you're laying down or sitting peacefully, you're welcome to continue. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I hope this has been helpful as far as preparation for the upcoming kidney walk. And I hope that it's helpful as far as shedding some light on the practice of mindfulness meditation, a practice that I think can be very helpful to you in your everyday lives. Thank you.